All right. All right. How you doing, Professor? My name is Daniel Soraluz, and I'm here with John Sheldon. He's going to be the the main focus of my entrepreneurial profile. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right. So what is the name of your business?
My name of the company is SolarReadyCertified.
Solar Ready Certified.
Yes, sir. We
And
started in 2010.
what educational background and experience did you have getting into the solar energy business?
That's a good question. Actually, I went to FIU, started in 2003, graduated in 2008, and I got a degree in marketing. At the time, there wasn't a lot of green type of studies. So I actually started a club, or helped start a club, called the Emerging Green Builders. And they're still on FIU. We have a solar house on campus at the engineering building. And through the club, I got a lot of experience with joining like-minded people and sharing ideas. And it was an opportunity to start to take a leadership role. And since I was doing marketing and business, there wasn't another business marketing major. So I had a real opportunity to get my feet wet. And then on side of that, I also studied a lot in the library, looking at different books based around sustainability. And so I sustainability that I was really interested in energy, specifically renewable energy, and then on top of that, solar. So I had to really get some more information just on my own. And, from there is when I started to figure out, okay, what do I have to do next to continue that growth? So, business and also club organization on campus.
And also on the company website that it's primarily located in it's headquartered in California, right?
Yeah, it's Silicon Valley,
Is
California.
it something that you founded with another partner, or is it something that you found afterwards after it was established?
Good question. So after I graduated, I moved to California. 2 days later, I knew that California was leading the solar revolution, and there's a lot of more information I could learn by moving there. So I took the opportunity and moved to California with just two suitcases. I didn't know anybody out there. I just said, "Hey, I'm going to do this," and fortunately for me, I got when I started, try to go to a company and do interviews, I got in touch with somebody who let me stay at his spare bedroom. It wasn't really a bedroom; it was more like a closet, and I slept on the floor, and I just did what I had to do to continue to pursue this dream. And so as I was, trying to do interviews and stuff with solar companies, I was staying there rent free because it was just a little room. And eventually I did get accepted at a company called Akina Solar, Akeena, and they did installations. They no longer are in business, unfortunately, but that's where I really got a lot of hands-on experience. I started off as an inside sales coordinator, and I would receive all the inbound leads from marketing, and I would evaluate the roof on satellite photos and talk to the homeowner and set up an appointment for somebody to go to their house. So it was a really interesting time. And then that's what kind of led me to start to figure out, hey, maybe I could do this for my own on my own. But I really just branched off, man. I took a chance. I
Yeah, it
took a
sounds
big
like a leap
risk.
of faith. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next question. What services does the company provide to its clients?
Well, we provide leads. We do a lot of the searching, the groundwork for solar installers. Akina Solar, the company I started to work for, they were a turnkey installer, which means they evaluated the house. They would actually do the installation, source all of the pieces, all the components necessary for the installation. They would also do all the paperwork to gather rebates because the government provided incentives and the state provided incentives. They would also do the project management to make sure everything was done on time. And then we did all of the follow-up work, the maintenance of the system once it was installed. So we provided the whole turnkey approach. Before that, you would have to do each part individually. And so Akina was the first installer to go national, to be able to provide a one-stop shop for solar. And really the very first step was to get a lead and to have a house be viable for an install. And that's what my job was, to make sure that when I sent somebody out to that house, there was a good chance we could sell it and install it, and it would be a profitable job for the company. And I found through trial and error what was the best practices. And then from there is when I said, hey, I'm ready to basically branch off and offer this to the whole industry. We do lead generation. We offer our leads to all different types of companies now across the country. We base it by zip code, or an installation in a specific area. We would focus on that area, and we qualify the houses. There's a lot of factors that go into solar. You got to look at the shading, you got to look at the roof size, the roof age, the house, when it was built. There's all types of variables: chimneys, vent pipes, et cetera, roof material. And there's really only a certain combination that actually is profitable for the homeowner and profitable for the installer. So what we do is we try to line up all those variables to make everybody win. So the homeowner's saving money right away, and the installer getting paid, also making money, because sometimes you could actually lose a lot of money, which is what ended up happening after I left Aquino. They started doing unprofitable jobs, and you spend time working these leads and if you can't sell it, man, you wasted a lot of money and time. So we saved them time and money.
Okay. Yeah, time is money.
Yeah, for sure.
When did you realize that there was a market that you could target with solar energy?
Well, we realized it pretty much from 2010. At that time, because I was the person doing all the evaluating, I was the first step on the inside to say yes or no. I realized that the leads I was getting weren't good quality. They would be underneath a bunch of trees, or the roof would be too small, or they'd be renting in a townhouse so they don't own the rights to the roof, or they'd be in a high-rise building, or they'd be in a mobile home. There's all types of things. Their electric bill wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be, so expensive. So that way we could say they may have like a $50 electric bill, but they love solar, but it just doesn't make financial sense. So there was all these types of leads I was getting that I was basically disqualifying, telling them, no, I'm sorry, I won't send somebody out to your house, for this, and this reason. So I actually spent a lot of time disqualifying more than qualifying, which was, bad business, really, because we're spending money to get those leads, and we're spending money on bad quality leads. And, the company, because they spend money on it, says you have to actually set an appointment. So it was this really delicate balance of saying who we could say yes to and who we couldn't, and still have it make money. And so our marketing return on investment would actually be profitable. We have lost money. The company Aquino lost a lot of money by buying bad leads, and that's when I said, you know what, there's got to be a better way. There's all these houses that I see that are viable. They're just not calling in because they don't know what their house could do for them, save the money on the electric bill. So that's when I said, you know what, let me try to branch off from this traditional marketing method of online web research and different kind of job fair, or like little fairs. There was like little things that we would go to, events and stuff, home show events. And I said, you know what, let's be proactive. Let's get those houses where we know it makes sense, and let's market to them. Let's get these installers out to them. And that was when I knew, hey, let's, and I said, hey, let's take this to the next level. Had to start small, but this was years ago. So now we're really trucking. Yeah.
Did you face any difficulties getting the idea off the ground, or getting the momentum?
Good question. I mean, absolutely. Without doubt, there were definitely barriers. Because this is it was such a new concept. It was hard for people to understand, and we had to have the ability to process credit cards, to have a bank backup, those types of things that a traditional business would have no problem with doing. If I was offering a product, a bank could understand, hey, this is what we could expect for type of return on this, or that type of deal. But because this was new, I got declined from several banks to do credit card processing, or to even open up a bank account. because I didn't really know what to expect as far as how much sales I was going to get, at what price I was going to get it. I didn't know the price point that I could offer my product and service at until later on down the road. So, right off the bat, that was a challenge. Also, my website was a challenge. I didn't know who I could turn to build a website the way that I wanted it to be. So I actually had to build my own website by myself, learn how to do it all, and then I had to also go to PayPal and have PayPal actually start doing my credit card processing for me. Um, and only until about ago that I was actually able to make enough money to invest into a professional website and have enough business to show, hey, here's what I'm doing on an average per sale, so that Bank of America would actually allow me to work with them. But it wasn't until I had some real tangibles that I could really go into the market full on. And that took some time, and I didn't know if it was ever going to happen. You just go to bed wondering, and hope for the best. I mean, this is definitely a new industry as far as opening up to the masses. It's always been a very specialized market, and trying to open up to everybody. There's millions of people that would benefit. So there's still more challenges to come, for sure.
Um, what were some of the requirements you needed to meet before you were able to start the business?
Require Well, I had to have an LLC, so I needed to have a corporation background. Um, that was a challenge first, but then I got to through LegalZoom, and LegalZoom actually really leapfrogged me into getting my LLC approved. I also had to get a trademark, and the trademark was definitely a challenge because my term that we use, SolarReady, has been used in other ways. So when we applied for the trademark, there was some pushback from other companies that had different names similar to that, Ready Solar or Solar-Ready. And so we had to kind of go through the legal runaround with getting people to approve us, saying, hey, there won't be a conflict of interest, no customers won't be confused. We're going to only do it this style, which is what I was showing you here, which is, I finally got it approved. So now the trademark looks like that, SolarReady, one word. And so that took a couple years. There was no, rubber stamp that they would just put on that. So, that was a struggle, and it was a requirement to be able to build a brand. And that's what we're trying to do, is build a brand that's known for having the best quality leads in the industry and have it be like a no-brainer. We're trying to get that, like, duh, why didn't you go with SolarReady type of brand? So we're trying to make it prestigious, and with that comes marketing, and marketing is a big challenge too. It costs a lot of money to market, and so a requirement with that is figuring out the best way to market. So I mean, there's a couple of things in there, but really just building a platform that we wouldn't get in trouble with legally is a big part of it. And then the 800 number, and making our domain, getting the correct web domain, all that good stuff. So there's been here all kinds of things.
That actually leads perfectly right into my next question. What type of marketing, what type of marketing do you employ to target your market?
Oh, well, good question. I mean, that's always been a struggle to figure out what's the best way. But fortunately, LinkedIn is a big help. LinkedIn is allowing us to get in touch with the right type of customer. We don't want to talk to anybody other than the business owner, the marketing manager. Those are the two people that make decisions as to whether they'll spend money out of their budget on our leads. So LinkedIn actually lets you see who they are, what their name is, and it gets you past those gatekeepers when you call them up, or you can send them a direct email So I mean, that's been a huge turnaround. Once we started really getting that geared in, is when we started seeing a lot of business churn up. And then also, we still go to conferences that are in the industry, different solar conferences. There's ASES, ASES, which is American Solar Energy Society. They have conferences. There's also Solar Power International, which is the biggest conference in the whole industry. And we always would be setting up networks at those shows. I actually have one of my, I got one of my badges here, so you can see Solar Power International. And Solar Ready Certified is the brand name. The LLC is actually Sheldon Solar, which is my last name, but we've now learned that SolarReadyCertified has better brand awareness than Sheldon Solar, which makes sense. So we would go to these events and meet with the presidents, meet with the CEOs, the owners, the marketing managers, sit down with them. I had my iPad. I give them a little presentation here on my iPad. Got my note cards. I'd have a flyer here, and really just give them a little one-all sit-down interview. And those two methods are really good. And then just looking through directories, solar directories, looking at those business names, the new phone numbers. There's thousands of installers, big, medium, and small. So we just gotta really, what we do is we try to contact all different sizes of them. It's to the point now where there's more business than we can even handle, and we need to have more people working with us, both selling, marketing. There's a lot of those positions that we have to fill. So that's how I came across you.
Okay.
So yeah.
What does a typical workday look like?
Workday, oh, buddy. Starts early. In California, it's 3 hours behind the East Coast, so you gotta wake up early. 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and you generally are checking your follow up. Who we have to follow up with immediately. You want to get those out right away, since those would be your easiest low-hanging fruit, so to speak, to be able to get the sale with. And then from there, you go to calling or marketing by email. A lot of it's email. Sending follow-ups. Everything is follow-up in this industry. Everything kind of happens slowly, because when you're dealing with leads, you're talking a lot of money, and with that comes a lot of decision makers. Is this the best option for them, right? So everybody's got to kind of talk amongst themselves, and fortunately, we're getting a lot of good word of mouth, and it's making the job a lot easier. So by now, since we've been in business for a few years, it's allowing us to really make our job easier. And from there, you're just basically following up, and then once you actually get the sale, once you get that sale, that's when you're building the list. You're looking at the rooftops in the area that they want. You're evaluating them. You're getting everything compiled together, and then you're sending it off to them, and then they're buying it. We put it on the website. They download it off the website like you would a song from Apple. We just upload it, and then they purchase and download it, and it's really, really, really nice. And that's a revolutionary thing in the industry. It's never, you never got leads like that before. No sales tax, instant, really, really cool. And then the day goes by pretty quick. I mean, that's when you're selling. For myself, I mean, I gotta keep on thinking, what's next? Where are we going from here? What's the industry going to be turning to? There's all kinds of condensing going on in the solar industry right now, because so many businesses cropped up that not everybody could survive. So right now it's kind of like a shakeout, and businesses are being acquired, businesses are going bankrupt, all kinds of different things are happening. So, for me, I need to be on point with who's in the market now, what are they going to be looking for, and how do we continue to get in touch with the right people to make decisions and make their decision easier. So my day is a lot of research. My day is a lot of conversing, with my people on the inside, but also, with the people on the outside, trying to get them into the pipeline myself. So it's all over the place for myself, but for my guys who work, it's just that selling from the start, building lists in the afternoon, and getting that whole project done by the end of the day, so we're making money on a daily basis.
Sounds like a fun work.
It's
It
cool.
doesn't sound boring.
Not at all. You're helping people, man.
Not at all. You're helping people, man. I'm telling you, people love it. They love it. They love it.
So you guys are dealing
Yeah,
with pretty
it's
interesting
great, dude.
technology. How do you guys come across your materials for these installations?
That's a good question. So, I mean, there's a lot
That's
of
a good
products
question.
out there,
So,
different types of
I mean,
panels.
there's a lot of products out there, different types of panels. Everybody's trying to make things more efficient. Everybody's trying to make things look better. So aesthetically, it looks nicer. Everybody's trying to make them install easier, so there's lower cost to install. Right now, the typical system is about $30,000, between $30,000 and $40,000 for your average home of about $150 electric bill. That definitely varies by state and by utility, but for the most part, you're looking at about 30 to 40,000. That's going to get you between 4,000 to 5,000 kilowatts, all right, which could offset your bill. So because there's so many people trying to improve their products, I don't try to touch that. I leave that up to the installer. The installers themselves, like Kina, they would be the ones who source all the pieces, right? So they talk to the manufacturers, and they work out the deal with the manufacturers to be able to get the components, right? And then they buy all that from them. What I offer is just where those components go. What rooftop do you have to put those panels onto? That's what I offer. If they don't have a roof to put it on, they're just buying pieces, and they got a big old inventory, right? So their inventory right now, for the most part, is actually really, really high. There's a surplus in the industry of panels and of products, which has driven the price down. Solar's actually dropped about 50% the last few years for people to purchase and install it, which is awesome, awesome. But the other problem is that people themselves don't necessarily have the money to buy it. And that's where there's been a new industry that's developed, a new part of the industry, which is the financing. Before, there wasn't solar financing, so now people can actually finance a system for little to no money out of pocket. So it's a great time, right? You can get a whole system paid for by the company, and then you buy power from that system. You don't purchase the equipment, you just pay for the electricity that the equipment's producing. And oftentimes it'll be less than the price you get from your current utility. So you can save right away. If you did want to own the equipment because it increases the home value, you could certainly also be on a lease program, and you would pay less on a monthly lease payment than you would on your electric bill. So it just switches out where you get your energy from and who you pay for that. Rather than pay like down here at FP&L, you would pay a company like SolarCity, or like a Kina, you would pay them for that energy, or Sunrun. These are all financiers, right? So they all handle that. I try not to have our company touch that too much. I try to just keep us be the gatekeeper, so to speak, the one who says, this is where you should install, this is where you shouldn't install, and then let the installer choose what type of products they want to use.
Okay.
So I leave it up to them.
All right. All right. So let's talk about future plans. What are your future goals for the business?
Oh,
I would love to have solar on
uh,
every rooftop.
I would love to have solar on every rooftop, right? I mean, getting clean energy into the grid. Right now, we're facing all kinds of energy challenges. Right now, we're on natural gas, we're on oil, we're on propane. It's all types of different energy sources, but all of those are finite. So we're going to run out at some time. And I love my iPhone. I love my tablet. I love my laptop. Right? So that takes energy, and I don't want to run out of it. I want to keep using it. I love my plasma TV back here, my LCD. So, I realized, hey, this is a really big deal. We don't want to go back to the Stone Age, and energy is going to be the driving force of that. So my vision is to continue to try to partner with companies that are going to help us get more solar on rooftops faster. You know, we need oil, we need natural gas, we still need those, but we need to use those smarter, right? We don't want to use that to just drive down the street 10 blocks. We need that for like manufacturing new iPhones, you know, or something like that. You know, we still need those resources, but we want to use them smarter. And there's everyday types of things that we're wasting, you know, those valuable resources on, so to speak. So, you know, for the everyday stuff is where I feel like solar is really going to come into play. And I just want to get it into the hands of the people who can take use of that. Every solar ready roof is definitely, you know, when we certify that, that means that that house can pay that homeowner back in less than 10 years. And also it means that the installer can make money. And once you get the electric car into the picture, you know, then you're powering your house, you're powering your car, all that from the same solar system. I mean, it's definitely making a lot of sense for a lot of people right now today. It's just that there's an educational gap with people to understand all of it. So, you know, somebody who's in Oklahoma doesn't know exactly what it's involved as somebody in California who doesn't know what it's involved from somebody in Alaska or Hawaii, right? So everybody's knowledge is different. So I want to close that gap. People aren't going to do the research themselves. People want to just have it done for them. So that's where my company comes in and says, hey, we looked at your house is approved, it's certified, get solar on that thing right now. You know, and then that way people don't have to do the thinking, they can just get the result that they're looking for without all the legwork. So it's just about being more efficient. I want to continue to do partnerships to make that efficiency happen, and I want to continue to raise the awareness of everybody, you know, nationally, so that they see the benefits that I see as well. And that's really the vision, man. One day at a time, one roof at a time.
All right, and lastly,
Yeah.
I have an entrepreneurial venture going on myself. I actually run an independent cell phone and tablet repair service, and I was just wondering, what could be some advice that you
Nice.
could lend to somebody like myself or any entrepreneurs that are aspiring entrepreneurs?
Oh man, definitely the fact that
Oh man, definitely the fact that, you know what, it's a big world out there. Your dream is definitely capable. You just got to find the right place, and you definitely got to know the right time. That's one thing that I learned. Timing is everything. I, for a long time, knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't really raise my sail, so to speak, until I felt like the winds were going and things were heading in that direction. At that time, President Obama was trying to get elected for his first term. He was talking all about alternative energy. And before that, you know, we were in President Bush era, which wasn't really talking about renewables. So, you know, I was listening for those things that were going to make me believe that, hey, now would be the right time for me to get into this and to make my move. Once you pop on the radar, there's no really coming back. You know, once you get yourself exposed, it's you got to make sure that you're going to have less hurdles to go through, because, you know, if you do it at the wrong time, you could have the best idea, you could have, you know, the best product, but if it's at the wrong time, unfortunately it may not work. So, you know, just keep your ear to the ground. Do a lot of, you know, research as far as where things may connect. Right now you're still in school, but where is that crossing line once you actually realize, once I'm out of school, what's going to be available? What's the need going to be? What's the demand going to be? And so, you know, to understand that, it just takes research, but you also got to have a lot of passion. You know, you got to stay passionate about what you're doing. You know, and that's true for anything, even if you're a doctor. You know, but especially in this field, especially in information technology, you know, at that point, there's a lot of things that could become capable, but if you don't have the heart in it, it may not either, because, you know, not everything is, you know, sugar and candy. You know, there's a lot of difficult times that only passion and heart's going to get you through. So, you know, find your passion, keep your head focused on what it is you want to do, and you know, God willing, you're going to get done what you want to do.
All right, well, thank you, John, for taking the time to do this interview with me. You truly are an inspiration and a role model to anybody who's trying to get their idea off the ground.
Oh, but thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your
but thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much, man. I
share
appreciate your time here today too, and the opportunity to share a little bit about myself